Welcome, faithful ladypreneurs. I am excited to be with you tonight. This is not a topic I usually like to speak on, so I can't really say I'm excited to talk to you about this today, but I'm excited for you to be able to find some peace when it comes to anxiety. It's interesting. I think about what is it that my faithful ladypreneurs need right now? What are the things that my clients need right now? And it's interesting that a lot of times what I feel like they might need is what I've just been through. And so that's why I feel impressed to share this with you right now. So welcome to Technique Tuesday, where we talk about divine techniques for real results. And if you didn't catch the last Technique Tuesday video, it is all about focusing on benefits over features so that your clients and prospects can start envisioning using your product and service. So I definitely encourage you to check that video out. So let's get real about anxiety. Sometimes we feel like we're all alone when it comes to anxiety. To be honest with you, I didn't even know I was experiencing anxiety, that what I was experiencing actually was anxiety. But it can come in a lot of different ways, especially in our business. It can be in a form of public speaking. It can be in doing live videos. There are some people who get very anxious about doing live videos, but they know that that's what they should do to be able to grow their business. It could be doing sales presentations, networking with others. There are some people who get massively sick before they go to networking events. So anxiety is a real thing, and that's what I really want to discuss today, is some great techniques on how to find peace and not let anxiety stop you from building your business. So I'm going to be really vulnerable with you guys today. I have actually suffered from anxiety for as long as I can remember. But the thing is I didn't realize it was anxiety. The first time I realized I had anxiety, I was in a Miss Junior Utah pageant. And I was sicker than a dog. And not because I had food poisoning or anything like that. It was because I was so afraid I was going to get sick that I made myself extremely sick. And I had no idea that that was anxiety. And so over the years, I can just trace it all over and over and over again. Anytime that I was expected to be somewhere, I would get this terrible sickness. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, it's just really bad timing that I'm always sick every time that, someone relies on me to be there. But then I realized what it was. And for me, I actually traveled to Texas every other week for a couple of years. I did just fine getting on a plane, being able to be there all by myself in Texas. I did great. And then what happened is I ate a burger at a burger place before I got on the plane home one time. And this burger instantly made me sick. It was massive food poisoning. It was so bad. I was the person, oh, it was so awful. I was the person sitting in the middle seat, puking the whole way home. And this is a 2 to 2.5 hour flight. And it was just the worst experience ever. And so when I went to get on the plane again, I'd been doing it for 2 years, every other week, and with no problem. But when I went to get on the plane again, all of those thoughts came back of, oh my gosh, what if I get sick again? And so that's what happened, is I got super sick. And it happened for 2 years, guys. This is so sad. It happened for 2 whole years that every single time I would go on a plane, and this was every other week, I would get super, super sick. And I would try to talk myself out of it. I would try to, something came up and I can't go, and I eventually made myself go anyway, but I always had that mentality of giving up on myself. And I don't know if your anxiety is similar to that, but that was my struggle that I had for a really long time. So I have to tell you some good news is that I found a great way to be able to overcome my anxiety. And it was just this last weekend where I finally started to put the pieces together. So last weekend on Saturday, I actually got to MC an event for 350 people in Vernal, Utah, which is about, depending on how you go, 2-3 hours away from where I live. And it was such an incredible opportunity. This was the largest stage that I had been on at that time, and I was super excited, and I knew that I had to go. But what happened, as it always happens for me, is that whole night I was so sick before I went to this event. And I told myself, I said, I don't care how sick I get. I don't care how much doubt or fear that I have. I am going. Because that would have ruined my speaking career. It would have ruined possibly even my coaching business. I don't want to be known as the person who can't be relied on, right? And so I told myself, like, there is nothing that can happen for me to not go to this event, regardless of if I puke on stage, which I was afraid of doing, but I knew it really wasn't the truth. Because here's the thing, is that when we have anxiety, that's where we get stuck in that negative thought, right? Of like worst case scenario in every single way. And we start to spiral down as fast as possible of like, we're going to end up in a ditch somewhere, like it's crazy when you think about it. But in the moment, that's our reality. That is all that we can see is in that anxiety. And so we have to be able to lift ourselves up above it. So let's talk about 3 things that you can do to be able to overcome your anxiety so that you can fulfill your goals and your dreams in your business, because it all hits us at certain times and we want to be prepared for that. So tip number 1 is commit to not letting it stop you. Don't give up. I can't tell you how many times I have given up on goals and dreams, and it hurts for me to say that, but it was just because I thought, well, I'm always going to be sick every time that I do this, so I might as well not do it. And it's crazy, but that's kind of how we feel in the moment. My first instinct is usually to give up, but I realized over the weekend that successful people are not quitters. You can't be a quitter and be successful. And so I don't even want you to think about giving up. When you're in the heat of the battle with that anxiety, don't even let that thought cross your mind. Tell yourself that I don't care how sick I get. I don't care how much fear I have. I don't care how much doubt I have. I am not giving up. Whatever that thing is that's giving you anxiety. Because really, what's the worst that could happen if you push through it and you do it? For me, the worst that could happen is I could puke on stage. And I knew that that wasn't a real thing. Like, I would be fine. The great thing about my anxiety, and I don't know if this is true for you, but once I actually start doing the thing that gives me anxiety, I'm totally fine. But getting myself to that point is really hard. So and this doesn't mean don't give yourself breaks. It doesn't mean that, you don't take the time that you need to for yourself, because you absolutely need to do that. But think about, what is it that gives you anxiety in life or business? And how can you make sure that you don't give up on your goals and dreams or give up on that thing that gives you anxiety? Because there's a reason why you're meant to do it. So tip number 1, commit to not letting it stop you. Tip number 2 is distract yourself. Now, I know that this may sound kind of like an easy fix, right? But the reason why our anxiety gets so bad is because we let our thoughts go. We let them ramble on and we let Satan take over our thoughts. And that's not what we need to be doing. The worst thing that I can do when I have anxiety is just to sit there and like play Candy Crush or sit there with my own thoughts. Like, Candy Crush is not a distraction for me because I can still think and go through all of those terrifying thoughts at the same time. But for me, I have found that music is a distraction. And so I know that my anxiety usually hits the morning of whatever thing is supposed to happen. And so I will either do a meditation. There's some great YouTube videos on meditation that'll walk you through how to calm your body and your thoughts. Or I just listen to music. I love to sing with music. And so I really can't sing and enjoy the music and still have anxiety as bad as it can be at the same time. So I would encourage you to find something to distract yourself. Get that thought process going away from those negative and all-consuming thoughts. And tip number 3. Now, this is the most important. And the reason why I put it at the end is so that we can all remember it. This is definitely the first thing that I would encourage you to do, because it's the most important and it's the thing that will make the biggest difference. So John 14:27 states, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Here's the thing, guys, is when we're full of anxiety and fear and doubt, that is chaotic, and all we want to have is peace. Peace to our mind, peace to our bodies, peace to our heart and our soul. And what better place to turn for peace than Jesus Christ? Let's be honest. You can find things to distract you, and that's great to be able to help in the moment, but do what you can to turn to Him. I remember getting on a plane just as I was starting to get over that 2-year anxiety spurt. I was feeling like I was really getting there, and after some therapy, they helped me to be able to really find what was triggering me. But I got on the plane, and I remember feeling that stomach ache come on, because for me, it's a very specific stomach ache. And I got that nervousness and, kind of that trapped feeling when I got on the plane. And I thought, okay, what is something that can distract me? But I'm on a plane, and there's not very much that I could think of at the moment. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because I realized, hey, I've got scriptures with me on my phone. And so I said a little prayer to Heavenly Father, and I really immersed myself in the scriptures, and it is amazing the peace that Jesus Christ can bring to your body and your mind and your heart and your soul when you're in that anxious mode. Because there's no other peace in the world like what Christ can give us. And so do what you can do to connect with your higher power when you're anxious. It's not always the first thing that comes to mind, but do what you can do to pray, or to read scriptures, or to, read something uplifting that you feel is part of your religion, whatever that looks like, a good book. Because the fact of the matter is that God does not want us to feel anxious. Like it said, let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. He has not given us the spirit of fear or doubt or anxiety. He wants to help us through that. And so those are great tips for when you're in the moment for anxiety, and ways to be able to overcome that so that you can achieve your goals, because you are meant to do something with your business that is much bigger than you. And Satan is going to try to stop that no matter what he can do. And our job is to not let him do that. And he can do that with anxiety, he can do that with fear and with doubt, but we get to choose. We may not be able to choose when anxiety hits us, but we can choose if we let it stop us. And so I encourage you to not let anxiety get the better of you, because you are so worth it, and so are your goals and dreams. So I hope this video has helped someone here today. I just felt impressed that I needed to share some of my own experiences with anxiety and how I've been able to overcome some of those. And there are so many different tips and techniques out there to be able to do so. So if you suffer from anxiety and you found some great tips and techniques to help you, please add them to the comments, because we want to be able to help support you and to learn from you. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and join us for another Technique Tuesday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.